Hi everyone, my name is Ajano Kwazan.
My name is Fisayo Adefolaju.
I am a conversion copywriter and a conversion specialist basically, and I'm also a creative director. I work with foreign brands, and my main job is to make sure advertising comes off as effective and as convincing to the populace.
I'm a composer and sound designer for film and TV.
This is Inventive Dimensions.
I'm here to talk about a couple of advertisements, starting with Mr. Biggs, one from 14 years ago.
Someday it will be asked, was she a good mother? Did she take good care of them? Ugh, tough balance. Good mother, good worker. Their happiness is my happiness. And I welcome anyone who helps me make them happy.
Well done. I mean, this is a very effective ad because it talks about, it shows the real life of mothers, right? Especially mothers that are actually juggling, taking care of their kids and also going to work. So it shows a typical morning routine, and I was like, this is a very good ad once I saw it.
Visually, I think it's perfect, absolutely perfect. Obviously, it's 14 years old, so in terms of quality of, say, camera, the camera image and all of that, and maybe the sound recording, we've come a long way since then. But I can tell that if we were to recreate this ad with the tools we have available to us now, it would come out just as good and probably convert a lot. It's the kind of ad you can take anywhere internationally. Visually, if I watch this advert on mute, I can always tell what is going on. I see the mother acting chaotically. We can see the kids getting ready for school. Instantly, we can all tell what is going on, even without, listening to any word of sound. They get to the Mr. Biggs restaurant. We can see clearly the sign is big in front of it, Mr. Biggs. They go in, we still see the sign clearly behind the staff. We see them wearing the Mr. Biggs caps. We see the Mr. Biggs bird with the logo all over it behind. Basically, you would have to be blind to not know this is a Mr. Biggs advertisement. And the call to action follows up with screen text on screen to show you what exactly you should be doing after, and what exactly you should learn from the ad, which is that we are open by 6:40 a.m. and always available for your family. So visually, I think it's 100%. Location-wise, it's great. Like I said, there's a lot of dynamism in the ad. We start from inside the house. We follow the kids getting ready. They come, even inside the house, we're in different locations. We're in the bathroom. We're in the stairway. We're in the kitchen. We are, getting ready to go. We get out. We enter the car. We can see the progression of the morning through the ad. So there's a lot of location work that goes into it. We get to Mr. Biggs. We see the establishment of the location. We see outside with the logo and everything. We go inside and we see everything we should see. So it's obviously very well thought out. The story is told in terms of location. Visually, it looks good. Lighting, I think the lighting was beautiful, especially when we get into the Mr. Biggs restaurant itself. There's this sort of like halo glow effect that makes you feel like you're in heaven once you get into the Mr. Biggs restaurant. And those are little elements that you can tell that the director focused on to tell the story of the adverts. And it also followed up with the sound, the chaotic music and effects of all the things going on in the morning were instantly juxtaposed by the calm guitar sounding soundtrack when we get to Mr. Biggs, and it just feels like there's this weight that is lifted off the mother's shoulder in the ad. So sound wise, it looks really good. Production value, the actors are doing a great job. The kids feel natural, like actual kids behave on the way to school in the morning. And the mother is doing a good job of portraying the chaotic, mom, the chaotic mom that has to go to work while taking care of her kids. Based on the ad, she looks like a single mom, which is just an observation I'm making, because I can't see daddy anywhere. But and that could also be, part of the target audience. I don't know, but generally production value, I think it's great. It's like a 9/10, and just because I want to be stingy with my one.
Is the fact that these people actually paid attention to details, right? So, if you notice, when they were showing the beginning, the kids, the rooms are very, very untidy, right? So they are untidy, and that's in most cases that's what happens when you are probably juggling work and maintaining your kids. So that's something that is seen there. Again, the background picture showing the husband is very important as well. When she was driving and how the camera focus when she was looking back at the kids, telling them to stop playing rough, and then driving up to Mr. Biggs, and then making provisions for the French toast that got burnt, right? So those are very important nuances that they actually paid attention to, and that's what makes it a great ad, and an ad that stands, apart from the competitors, and very, very effective ad, I might say. Mr. Biggs, we know that their main primary color is yellow and red, right? So that's what makes the ad very interesting. They showed the color all through from the beginning to the end, and then showing the uniforms of the kids. It's very important that we see that this is a Nigerian setting, and it's not like we are seeing some very strange uniform color and settings like that, right? And then seeing that this woman actually paid attention to there is nothing like an absurd makeup on her face, showing that she just did this basic minimum, and she's just ready to go to work. Again, the attention to the French toast, right? Getting burnt, that's something that is very, very important as well, and I find very interesting and amusing, because that's what a lot of people don't pay attention to, right? So, and at the ending, if you pay attention to it, they also showed that these people opened by 6:45 a.m. So we can assume that all this happened within those hours, very early in the morning before the kids get to school. So yeah, very, very, very effective in that light. It's consistency, right? Consistency in the sense that are these brands what we know them to be? Are they also showing it in the ad, right? So we know Mr. Biggs from time immemorial, even when I was very young, right? I know Mr. Biggs to be that particular eatery that every family goes to, right? You can't enter Mr. Biggs and not see one family or three families sitting down by the side having their meals, right? So that's why understand by brand identity, the consistency of the brand, and it transcends into their color as well, right? The colors that they are showing that they are using yellow and red, right? So that's one thing that they also showed in the ad, right? So that's brand identity to me, consistency, and the use of consistent color as well. So consistency, brackets every other thing under it. So colors, messaging, the tonality. So all of that is under consistency. A brand being consistent shows the brand identity. Tonality, the voiceover, it shows that this person is actually talking from a place of the mom, right? Paying attention to the fact that the mom, one of the message there was that at the end of the day, you'll be asked, are you a caring mom, right? So from the video, it also shows that this character is very caring. And then because she was able to make provisions from when she was making the toast for her kids and it got burnt, she had to think twice, think very fast, and she did that, right, by going to Mr. Biggs, right? So that's showing the brand identity of Mr. Biggs, that you can be, they can be the obvious and next choice when you are, in a fix and you need to, a quick fix.
intended message is come and buy food here because we make your life easier and we make you and your family happy. And it's clear from the ad that was communicated, because I can tell that was the message. The Mr. Biggs restaurant used could have been bigger, because that was the only thing that stood out to me. It didn't feel like a place I would come and sit and eat based on the presentation in the advert. It felt a bit cramped. It seemed like there was a couple sitting in the restaurant and it felt like the place would only take that table. Like, it couldn't take any more than that table. It felt really cramped, and that was the only thing. But I know there are probably location constraints and it was still presented in a good way, but I would have used a bigger Mr. Biggs restaurant with a few more people, because if you've already gone this far, we might as well make the actual restaurant, feel as homely and welcoming as possible. So if I'm going to bring my family here, I shouldn't feel like we would have to be looking for, space to sit down, or, like waiting for one other family to go out, which is what it looked like here. It looked like just come buy your food and get out, And the relationship between the mother and her kids, and like a bit of dynamic between them. I can see that they love each other because they were playing with each other. Even when they were brushing their teeth in the morning, they were playing with the toothpaste, like they were laughing together. You could tell that this was a family that loves each other, and there was that bit of establishing of the relationship before we start to get to them starting their day. And it just feels real, and that's important for relativity. Fisario still here, and we are moving on to the next advertisement, which is a KFC ad featuring Eniolua.
I'm going to have like the double down. That's what I'm going to have.
What's this?
Oh, I actually think you're not having. Okay, that one too.
This also.
This one and this and these two. And that too.
They use your to plate.
Well, I'll just have double down. Thank you.
Jesus! Ayé mi tèmi bá mi.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's obvious.
The bill for everything we ate. This is it. Higher education. Thank you. How much is double down?
3-1, sir.
3-1. Let me hold it.
Order me, sir.
The one she ate. Madam.
Skits, and that's pretty much the word that came to my mind. Skit. I didn't think of the brand. I saw it more as an Instagram post that Eniolua was doing as a joke. Only much later did I find out that it was actually, endorsed by KFC, which, is interesting to say the least. Visually, I find it difficult to tell what brand is being promoted here, because apart from the fact that the KFC logo is not really visible throughout the ad, I'm seeing clashing logos. I see a Pepsi logo that's more prominent on screen than KFC was ever throughout the whole ad, when one of the characters is taking a drink. And basically, I don't see much effort put into subliminally planting KFC into the mind of the viewer visually. Based on the two people in the ad, that the target audience is people around that age range, which is, youth, teenage, range. And yes, I think we might be able to relate to it, definitely, because it's a relatable scenario. We go out to eat and there's this particular person that I've offered to pay for, who is seemingly, greedy and is ordering more than I planned for, budgeted for. And it's a scenario that we are used to. We've seen quite a lot of times in comedy and in skit making and all of that. So in terms of relatability, yes, it is a relatable ad, and I will give them good points for that. But I don't think in its relatability it is super creative, because it's basically presented the same way we've always seen it. And as a brand trying to convert clients, I don't think it shows much uniqueness. I'll start with editing. I would give props to the editor because I feel like from what I can see, it doesn't seem like they had much to work with. The the location is the basic bare minimum you would expect for a KFC ad, which is we want to shoot a KFC ad, we go to a KFC restaurant and we point the camera at somebody ordering food. But we don't get to see what KFC really is. We don't see the place filled with customers. We don't even see the other end of the order, which is the person taking the order and smiling at you. Those are elements that really make a brand worth going back to visit or not. If I go to a restaurant, one of the major things that will determine whether I come back there is the way the staff behave, the way the staff treats me. So that's why when a restaurant is advertising, your staff and the way you present your staff is super important. It's like, to me, 50% of the ad, because even if it's all fake, all the brands do it. We have to see the staff smiling. We need to see that the place is clean. We need to see that you guys are working and bustling, and that people are happy to be there. And production-wise, I don't see a lot of that. I don't feel like I'm in a restaurant that is endorsed by members of the public. It seems empty, and sound-wise, it doesn't help because there are ways we cheat. If you don't have the budget to hire 50 extras to fill up the restaurants, we can still make it sound and feel like there are 50 extras in there by using sound design, and sound effects and all that to make the place feel alive. And there was not much thought put into that either. So production value wise, I would give this ad a very low score. I think it's the bare minimum, and bearing in mind there might be constraints that led to that, I still don't think it was very well executed for a brand like KFC especially.
Yes, the target audience will be able to relate to the visuals. In this sense, they are talking to the younger generations, right? Where if you are, you are on tight budget and then you need to take someone out on a date and just need to, get to know each other. Maybe it's your first date or second date or whatever, right? It communicates to the young people that, okay, you shouldn't be caught in this kind of situation, right? And that's what Enioluwa did, because he knew what he was going for. He knew that there was a double down package and he's just going to go for that, right? But then on the other hand, this is a situation where you if you've ever been in that situation, you relate to it as well, that most times you can't control. I'm assuming this is a first date, right? Because he can't control what the other his partner is ordering, right? So it communicates that to a lot of people, and the target audience will definitely relate with it. Product identity, product design is on point, because from the lighting, from Enioluwa's dress code, from his partner's dress code as well, you could tell that, again, like I said earlier, it's the first date. Right, so he's trying to make an impression from the clothes he's wearing, and then the lighting, the location is also showing KFC location, which is something we want to see, right? So if you've ever been in a KFC restaurant, you would notice that they have lots and lots of quotes on the walls, and those are my favorite places because I love snapping, behind the quotes. Right, so I pay attention to those kind of things, right? So the location was on point because, again, if you've been in KFC, you notice that this is something that you see regularly. And then the ad is talking about a double down package, and then at the background we can see that there's a double down, sticker down there, for people that are just coming in that don't know about it at first, because unlike Enioluwa, some people don't know about it. So once they walk into the store, they see that particular poster, and then they know that, okay, there's something going on here. There's a combo that we can ask about, right? So yes, it's on point. The product design, regarding the lighting, the location, and the tonality as well. Some point.
There was a little thought put into it because at least Enioluwa is wearing red, and I know KFC's color is red. So at the very least, the main character, is wearing the colors of the brand. But After that, I don't see any other thoughts put into it. The logo is hard to find. These digital ads are most likely going to be viewed on a small screen on people's phones. And if I have to really take a microscope and zoom in to see where your logo is, then I feel like the ad is already failed, because I could watch this ad and think it was a Pepsi advertisement. That's how much I feel like it wasn't really thought about. And if I were to compare it to the Mr. Biggs ad, which we critiqued earlier, I mentioned they had their logo everywhere, even places where the logo usually isn't in a typical Mr. Biggs restaurant, which is when you enter, above the people serving, it's usually the menu, not the Mr. Biggs logo. But for that advertisement, they changed that menu to the Mr. Biggs logo, so that logo just keeps getting pushed in your face. And it seems like they were almost avoiding putting the KFC logo in this advertisement. It came up, very little on like the plates at the corner. And there's a point where she drinks Pepsi and it's right in your face. And I'm almost like, is this, a Pepsi endorsement ad, or, So there's obviously a lot more thoughts that have been put into that aspect of it. Yeah.
There's a lot of impact it has, considering the fact that these colors are, again, they have been consistent with KFC, right? So the colors, the red and the white that Eniolua is wearing, right, is very important to pay attention to. And then again, the person is bringing to the date in the question. You can see that she is also, trying to make an impression to Eniolua in this case, this particular scenario, visually, right? Not what she did, because obviously she's not trying to curb that. So yes, the colors are on point. Then the visuals, the graphics, they are they paid attention to that, because that's something people that are young, Gen Zs and the likes want to see. Vibrant colors, and the lighting as well is paying attention to Eniolua's face and his expressions, and these are things that they paid attention to in the ad.
Red. That's all. I just saw red. Red is the only thing I can really associate with KFC in the advertisement. I mean, I mentioned the logo came up here and there little by little, but it was negligible to me because I really had to look for it. And I could see, yes, red. KFC is known for chicken. I mean, it's Kentucky Fried Chicken, and there wasn't even a close-up of the chicken. Like, let me even see that the chicken looks good. Like, let me see that it came and he smelled it, and it's maybe made him feel better. That, okay, all this money I spent was even, like, is useful. At least the food was good. That kind of thing where there's a bit of a cathartic, end to it, where I feel like he had a good time by going to KFC. I don't see that. All I see is red. And, I mean, red is their color, so 1/10.
Yes, the visual element did just that. From the colors to the attires, to the accessories, right? Like I said, he's trying to make an impression on her. I don't know about her trying to make an impression on him from what I can see. But then, the visual elements are communicating the brand identity and also the message to the audience. It's a very good ad, nice choice of characters. The other, the partner Eniolua is bringing on set or is using here, she didn't really, talk a lot, right? And we can kind of like relate with that, because in some cases, very, very pertinent these days, you see that even on the first date is the guy that does much of the talking, except you are very lucky sometimes that you meet someone that, wants to talk as much as you also want to talk as a guy, right? But then nice choice of characters, like I said, nice choice of location. The quote at the back really, really made a very huge impact to know that, okay, at first I didn't really see the KFC logo, but then once I saw that quote, I saw Annie's choice of clothing, I was like, okay, I think this should be a KFC ad. I already had that at the back of my mind, right? So yes, that communicates the color, and the choice of location communicates the brand identity, right? In areas where they could have improved, I feel like if you are talking about a double down package, right, and you call it, if you price it as 3,100, then we are interested in seeing what that package looks like, right? From the ad, you can catch a glimpse of what it looks like, but we don't really see what it looks like, right? So that is very important. That's a very important thing for them to have improved on or to have worked on, right? Because again, not many people. Some people are interested in the price of a product, while some are interested in the size. Like me now, I'm interested in the size, right? So it's not much about the price, right? So if I'm buying something for 3,100, I want to see what it looks like, right? So one might argue that this particular lady in question is not totally in the wrong because maybe she eats a lot, and that's every other thing they are bringing to the table. We can't also see them. We are just saying that the drinks are changing, right? We can't see the sizes of things that she's ordering. So we can argue that what she's ordering is not even much because they might be in tiny, tiny portions, right? So yeah, they could have done that. They could have paid attention to the sizes of the double down package because lots of people would have want to see that. We don't want a case of what I order versus what I get, right? Because we see that a lot. So that is something they could have paid more attention to. And then at the end of the ad, I was quite disappointed because I was expecting something to kind of like show, again, maybe the visual, right? I was expecting like a double down package, like popping up. Maybe we're having the chips, the chicken, we're having a pack of drink, something like that, right? At the end, we should have seen something like that. But at the end, I just saw that the lady was surprised when they brought the price to her, which was quite funny, right? But then at the end, you should have, sneaked in something like that, like a graphic just sliding in and then showing the double down package in person, right? Like showing the product, the actual product, and then the pricing, maybe a deadline date, right? Because I'm seeing that these ads are not, they're not really direct response. Direct response in the sense that you are doing an ad and you want a direct response from your consumers, right? So you want them to take action within this particular date, right? So if it's a combo, one might think or one might assume that there is going to be an end date to the combo, right? It's not something that goes on for life, right? So those combos usually have a beginning date and an ending date, right? Like a range of time, right? So I was expecting to see something like that at the end as well. Maybe this promo runs from this to this, right? So they did not do that. So it's only safe to assume. So anytime I walk into KFC, I can order a double down. Is that it? I really do not know, right? So I'm hoping. No, I think that's where they could have, done better. And yeah, that's it. That's the way they could have improved. But overall, the ad is actually, it talks to the target audience, and the choice of character obviously communicates that, okay, this person is a young person, and he also wants to make an impression, right? So on his first date. So yeah, nice ad, but they could have improved it better. That's what I think.